Tell
So let
people that
me
all the time.
let me ask you, what's the number one most common I don't know if I want to say myth or misconception or just something you see with dogs all the time that you want to put out a message to help people understand that they're wrong on or that they should know this or whatever it is.
Well, honestly, a lot of the biggest thing is my dog's just trying to be dominant. That's really not the case, bro. Dogs aren't born with this inherent like need to dominate you, right? Your dog's walking ahead of you not because he wants to be dominant. You know what I mean? Your dog's not jumping on you because he wants to be dominant, and he's damn sure not attacking people in the house or out in public because he's dominant and he's not respecting you. People kind of got that twisted, and unfortunately, that came from like studies in the 70s of like captive wolves from different packs that were captured and just thrown in captivity, and those wolves were studied, and their behavior was measured based off that, so pack theory came from that. So these dogs, there's no trust here. So you're throwing food in there and these animals are fighting for it. They're fighting for territory. They're fighting for everything. There's no comfort here. And, dogs come from wolves, but they're not wolves. And even then, our misconception on wolves is extremely, it's just huge. Wolves are not like, you don't have the alpha that's trying to dominate everyone and the wolf comes in and just dominates itself all the way to the top. That's just not how it works. It's usually an alpha, it's a pair, it's mom and dad, bro. And it's just their children from different litters, As they get older, some leave, some stay, typically females, but they're not out there trying to dominate you. That's just not the case. That's the biggest myth. The dogs aren't, because you watch Cesar Millan back in the day, because he's done a lot better nowadays. But it's all about pack theory and all that stuff. And a lot of trainers still train that way. Most trainers do. And it's just not true. It's not true at all. Dogs are just, they just do what works.
Mm-hmm.
If I have my bone and you go and try to grab it and I growl at you and snap and you back away, well, that's what works. So next time I'm going to be, more willing to do that to protect my bone, for example. So they're not out there trying to dominate you, man. They're just doing what they feel like they should do in certain instances. That's all that is.
And I remember that was one of the dumbest things, at least dumb to me, that I read when I was first starting to do research on how to train a dog and how to raise a dog and everything like that. They're like, never let the dog walk in front of you. It always has to walk on your side or behind you. I'm like, that sounds super annoying because when I'm out, again, I told you my only priority is my dog. So I'm constantly looking at him. I'm not trying to turn my head or look behind me the whole time. I want to be able to see him. I want to be able
Bro,
to
yeah,
watch him when he's doing stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to have him walk beside me and behind me. I'm like, I refuse to believe that he's suddenly going to think he's king shit because he's next to me. He's ahead of me. There's no way. I refuse to
yeah.
believe that.
Bro, I teach people, hey, keep your dog, if you give your dog 6 feet of leash, teach them to stay within that 6 feet. Teach them not to pull you, right? Not to be, try to drag you everywhere, but not next to you, bro. That's heel training. And let me tell you something, bro. To reinforce heel training consistently on every single walk, bro, that's really hard to do. Not only that, the walk is supposed to be something that's stimulating to you and your dog, mostly your dog. So if I'm just forcing you to stay at my side because I'm trying to, I guess, be dominant, what are you doing? What is your dog learning? They're absolutely nothing other than you're a jerk. You're just keeping me there. I can't sniff. I can't do anything. Dogs, dude, their nose is their main tool, right? Their brains are hardwired through their nose. Like that is the biggest thing to a dog. That's how they see the world. So if I keep you on my side the whole time, bro, I don't let you sniff cause that's all they're doing. They're just following a sense. The whole time. That's all they're going in the grass and, they smell the last dog from like 6 years ago that peed in this very same spot. They can smell that, it's just, they're innocent, bro. Like they're not trying to dominate you. So yeah, teaching your dog to stay at your side the whole time is just not fair to your dog. Unless you're doing like obedience trials, I get it. But even then, I mean, some of those dogs don't even want to be there. Humans will do that to glorify themselves and get a medal of some sort or a little, 10-inch trophy, and it's just not fun for the dog. Unless you have a dog that's motivated to do that. You have an Aussie or, any kind of working class dog that has the drive for that and they want to do that, awesome. But if you're just walking your dog, bro, let them sniff, bro. Like, let they can be ahead of you. It's okay. And I teach people that all the time. Most people, unfortunately, a lot of trainers don't teach that. It's heel training. It's trying to glorify yourself as a trainer. Like, I look so good. Look what I make this dog do. And then you start using e-collars and prong collars for that, which it's unfair to do that. Use those tools for that reason. Because don't get me wrong, I use both of those. And it's just really to break drive. Create a certain break your dog of a certain distraction, or if they're in a certain drive state. I got to get you back to me. So or gain control of you. But teach your dog just to sit and to stay next to you while you walk. That's just, I think it's unfair, personally. Some people
Absolutely.
might think otherwise.
And then one of the things I've always tried to maintain too is that I brought my dog in my house to be a dog. He's not
Yeah.
he's not a piece of furniture. He's not something to show people. I have not taught him pretty much anything that isn't functional. You know what I mean? And again, I understand, and so let me be clear here. I know that this is a break from some of the more where you train your dog to bond. You also train them just to keep their mind stimulated and things like that or whatever.
Yeah.
I just couldn't bring myself to teach him to like roll over or anything. I was like, it's dumb. I'm never going to need him to do that. I'm never going to
Yeah.
want him to do that other than like, oh, look what he can do. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
just never taught him. I never taught him that. I never taught him to shake. I didn't teach him. And again, the only thing he really knows for sure is sit, stay, and I know I have others, but I can't. That's all I can think of right now. And those are the only ones I ever really needed. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. Stay is probably the most important command, dude. If I stay put, like, I need you to stay, I need you to stay. But functional commands, you touched on that. I only teach functional commands. Sit down, maybe some flashy ones like stand, sit from a down. I have a pretty solid heel that I teach people, but these are all strictly for stimulation. It's just to teach your dog something new. Dogs need to learn new things. It's funny. My girlfriend teaches her dog fun stuff too, like to spin around and she aims like she's shooting at her and dog plays dead. Fun stuff like that. If you do it in a positive way where your dog is actually trying to work towards a reward of some sort, it's working, right? Dogs need to do something. But if you're just doing it to glorify yourself, bro, and your dog's hating its life, then what's the point? I don't really offer that in my training. I don't unless you ask me and it's possible. Then yeah, for sure, you'll teach your dog shake or whatever. But they usually get in the way, man. You start trying to teach your dog shake, and that's all they want to do now. You teach them, tell them to go down, and they want to shake your hand now, and start scratching you up, or they think it's okay to start pawing people for a treat. So sometimes, if done incorrectly, your dog will start building. You're just teaching your dog bad habits. Like again, paw. Like your dog's gonna paw everybody now for a treat, thinking that's what it's supposed to do, but you've taught them that. So